Good morning, tribe. We are starting off today with Kit's morning walk. And I'm going to show you just a little bit more of the campground. It is not too bad today, 44 degrees this morning. I think it was 34 when I got up yesterday, or 36, something like that, which is way colder than I like it. Stopping for a sniff. Shaking it off. There's the good boy. There's the good puppy dog.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
So the temperature's not as cold, that's good. But my expectation is that it is only going to get colder as the days go by. So as much as I would like to sit here through 2 rounds of 4 days on and 4 days off, hang on just a second, I want to look at this. So this is the potable water situation, and I'm guessing somebody might have been washing dishes here that wasn't supposed to be, based on how much water is run down the road, because it's not dripping or anything. So my initial thought was that I was going to be able to wait through 12 days. So 4 days on, 4 days off, 4 days on, and then leave on my next off day, do a grocery run, do laundry, all that kind of stuff. But because of the cold weather and the fact that I don't like to be cold, after I finish my morning rounds, I'm going to call a propane supplier in Cody and find out if they can install and extend a stay for me. And yes, I know I could order one from Amazon or someplace else and have it delivered, and that would be fine. But getting deliveries here is not going to be very easy. So what I'm hoping is I can simplify things by just going to a propane supplier, having them install it for me. They can leak test it, and then all I have to do is hook up the hose from the T-connector they'll install to the propane bottle that's at the site. And then I can have hot water all the time, keep my house warm all the time, which will be much more pleasant. And, and make my stay here a lot easier as it gets colder. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'll do a resupply and I'll do laundry while I'm out. And hopefully, after that, I might be able to just stay until it's time for me to go. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe not. We'll see. I might end up having to leave again. And when I say leave again, I mean outside the park. Because there's also some stuff I'd like to do inside the park that I didn't get to do when we were here visiting the first time around. So, as we come down here, this is the entry area, basically. So the office is over here at the ranger station. And when the rangers leave a little before 5, I have to come down and then stay here until 7 and check people in as they're coming in, and then I put out for late arrivals. And there's the info board. They've got the Iron Ranger covered up because you have to pay by credit card. Trash over here. That little shed over there has stuff in it that I can use, including gas for my cart. Recycling here. This campground does not have any propane recycling. Many of them do, but this one does not. And I'll show you what the boat ramp looks like in just a moment. Kit, come on in here. Sorry, there's a car coming. Oh, and there's more trash and recycling out here, which I hadn't noticed previously. So cool. Pit toilets over here to the right coming up. You can just see them coming around the corner there. So we got pit fellas over here, more trash and recycling. These guys are filling up their water tank. Picnic area down here. I'll show you the boat ramp. And then we're gonna head back up to my RV, jump in the golf cart and start our morning rounds. Yeah. Get sniffing, I gotta spin around in circles. Yep. So I do a lot of spinning around in circles while we're walking because he'll walk behind me and then we get wrapped up. Oh, interesting. I'm actually picking up a signal from the ranger station down here. So there's no signal, no cell signal here at all. I have Starlink of my own. And then the ranger station also has Starlink, which I can connect to and do, because, you know, I don't want to be sitting there for 2.5 hours with nothing to do but twiddle my thumbs. So here's the boat ramp. Can't fish from the dock here. Alright, it's not cold, but it is kind of chilly, so sorry for the sniffles. I haven't figured out, I guess it's just a toolbox, but let's go take a look at this shed behind it and see if we can figure out what this is about. There's a canoe here, and whatever the yellow can is, and a shed with a chain. Must just be extra tools for the boat people. So they have actually 2 rangers here. One ranger does boat inspections for aquatic invasive species. Hang on a second. That was a big step down, and I fell down because it was too big a step down. Oops. Brushed myself off a little bit. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, here's the shoreline. Don't know how far around there we can get yet. Haven't really tried. Looks like we might get a little bit of sun today, but the weather forecast says mostly overcast. And at this point, my batteries are at 81%. I got up to 90 yesterday, so hopefully I get to at least 90 today. Because what I don't want to have to do is, you know, still be on a work day and have to break camp so I can drive someplace to run my generator to recharge my batteries. Because even I can't run my generator here, which is what I would normally do if it starts getting too cold. That might be the ranger coming in. All right.
4 hours later.
And look what I found here in the campground this morning. It's a tiny house, but it's not a tiny house like any that we have ever seen before. This is a home-built tiny house, and it's been home-built by a deaf person. Now, the actual builder does not want to be on camera, so we're going to be very respectful of that. But I'm going to share with you, they're pulling this with a 4-wheel drive vehicle. So not super big, but certainly very capable. And they've got a couple of kayaks up on top. That's always very, very cool. This is a Toyota 4Runner. So as you can see, it doesn't take a whole lot to be able to pull this. I want to share some of the really cool things about this with you though. And we're going to start with the roof. The roof is like a canvas, probably a poly of some sort, tarping that is made to be 4 seasons, made to be able to withstand 40-mile-an-hour winds. And what's so cool about this is that the roof is removable. And the reason that the roof is removable is because it needs to be able to fit in their garage when they're at home. But the other thing that I want you to really pay attention to, ignore all the sides here. Look down here at the framing. Y'all know what this is? This is just a utility trailer. This trailer started life hauling their 800 series quad. You can see the lift gate right there, just like that. And what they decided was, well, especially she decided he shouldn't go camping in a tent by himself in the middle of nowhere. So he built this to be able to accommodate that. We're going to go ahead and take a look inside. We're going to start right here. Check this out. They get a porch with a railing. And I guess if they really wanted to, they could prop up the gate and really put chairs up and use it as a porch. That would be an option. Nicely carpeted inside, you can see here. But the carpet comes up out of the way in order to be able to get the ATV in. And when we look around here, I want to show you this. This is like so cool. You look up here, you see the beam that runs all the way down here. Well, this whole roof, as I said, is removable. So check this out. See the latches up there? You pull the latches, you remove the joists, which are, custom fitted to the top rails, and then you pull this beam that goes from one end to the other. There is also a different top that they can use when they're traveling longer distances, just to avoid wear and tear and exposure on this one. But because they didn't come real far for this trip, they went ahead and left the arch top in place. So let me show you some of the other stuff. Obviously, we're looking at the bed platform up here. And we've got this ladder. Now, he said that they're going to rebuild the ladder and make it a little bit wider and a little bit more of an angle to make it a little easier to get up and down. And underneath of here, they've come up with the idea to really turn this into a sofa by removing the carpet, putting hardwood floor in, and then adding, like a 4-inch memory foam cushion and carpet that so that they can have a downstairs lounging area as well. This is a flip-up table, and you can see right back there. Actually, let me show you on the top. We got hinges here right on the top. So you just pick it up, the leg folds up, and it stores up against the wall out of the way. This is all designed to still be able to handle the quad that the trailer was bought for initially. And then over on this side, of course, we've got the whole kitchen set up. And I asked about power. Everything is solar-powered lights. So you can see here and over here. And they have a solar panel that charges their GPS and, phones and stuff like that. But how cool is this? I mean, personally, I've never seen anything like this, and I'm betting you haven't either. So I want to make sure that you leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking about that. In case you're wondering, this is a heat vent, basically, but it's ventilation. Just to let some air in. And Chris said that he was going to put a bigger vent in there and get a little more airflow. But this is only their second trip out. The first one was basically a shakedown. And they've been here for about a week now at this point. So pretty cool. We're going to show you the next really interesting feature. So this is porch mode. And I'm going to ask Chris to put this down for you so that you can see, we're going to say, regular door mode. Now, I want you guys to really look at this transformation, and I'm going to kind of change the angle a little bit because the lighting is really putting us in shadow here. But you can see we no longer have a porch roof. We still have the tailgate that you can walk up to, but you can walk right up here to the residential style door handle and go ahead and open the door. There is a step over to get into the carpeted area, but how snug and cozy is this? So I think it's a pretty awesome build. I want you to let me know what you think about it, and I'm gonna give you a shot of Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing your travel home with us. Truly appreciate that. And as I mentioned, the build was done by a deaf person. And one of the coolest things that I learned in our conversation today that I never knew before today was that deaf people are born with their given name, as are the rest of us, but because that can be very hard to use in sign language, they are either kind of grown into a different name or they choose a different name, something that is easier to do with ASL. And so Chris's ASL name is Hamburger. And I love the story of why that is, which I'm not going to share with you. You're going to have to leave a comment and ask, and that might come up again in another video sometime. But what's really cool to me is that it's very much like long-distance hikers on the PCT or the AT or the CT. They get trail names. So same thing, you acquire your name as you go through life, not that it's the one that you were necessarily given to begin with. And that was a new thing for me to learn today. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you found most interesting in this video, because I thought it was both an amazing build and an amazing story, and I hope you did too. Okay, so continuing our campground tour of Loop C, we're going in the opposite direction this time. So what I've shown you so far has been when I come out of my site and turn left toward the entrance, but this time I'm coming from another site and heading back toward mine. Part of what we see here is that pretty much everybody's gone during the day. They'll, if they get here early, they'll come in and set up and then they leave. Then they come back in the evening. But pretty much nobody is really hanging out in camp, for the most part. And it is warmed up enough right now that I could maybe put shorts on for a few minutes. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'll stop talking about the temperatures. No, I probably won't. I'll tell you the truth, I probably won't. But I don't love cold weather, we know that. I'm gonna flip the camera around and see if I can do this. I don't love cold weather at all. And I'm sure the weather is going to be a great subject of conversation for me here. So I just finished an interview with Chris and Jennifer and did a tour of their amazing home-built rig. But I have to do this in my off time because I can't film while I'm in uniform. And that's fine. So I'll just find ways to, do what I need to and work around that. And I can hear the little kids start barking. So I'm gonna flip you around again. Maybe. So I'm parked right down there. Can you hear him yet? I can. Hope he hasn't been barking the entire time I'm gone, but he might have been. So part of how I'm managing the power right now is pretty much when I'm away from the rig, I'm shutting my inverter off and just leaving it on charge in the hopes of getting as much solar as possible. I left the inverter on when I went up there to film because I'm trying to get my laptop charged and a video transcript processed, and I need Starlink to do that. So, were you on my bed? Were you? So let's see what happens when I open the door, if I can get the key in the lock. There we go. Where's Kit? There he is. There he is. Well, you got a little unruly, didn't you? Did you get a little unruly? Did you rearrange the pillows and stuff? So, it's kind of filthy in here because it's been raining a lot, and even though I'm trying to take my shoes off every single time I walk in, I'm not always successful. Yeah, he was up on the bed. Hey, look at the people, crazy boy. Kit, you need to sit. Sit. Good boy. He's always frantic when I come back. Such a chihuahua. But I love him, and I know you do too. Here we are back in camp, and today has kind of turned into chore day. Actually, I want to show you how I'm handling the water issue. So, I told you when I first got here that figuring out the water was really, really tough. So, what happens is, this diverter valve right here, you got to pull that down when you turn the handle on. But the handle doesn't stay down. So I've got this bungee cord that I wrap all the way around the entire contraption, so I don't have to stand there and hold the handle down, which worked quite well for filling up my tank, of course. And I guess I could leave it that way and just run off of the city water connection, but I don't really want to do that. Too many possible things can go wrong. So I'll just run off of my tank, that's fine. And then I also came over here and dumped my black and gray tanks today. There's my sewer hookup. And ran some water into my black tank. We've walked a couple of miles already today doing our morning rounds, and we need to set out for our afternoon rounds pretty shortly, but I wanted to check in with you before we did that. Just give you a little bit of an update on what's been going on. So you can see I've got the side covers down on my cart on the passenger side, and I think I'm probably going to keep it that way because Kit went with me for our morning rounds this morning and he did really well, and it was cold, so but I figured having the side cover down on that side makes him less likely to jump out of it, so that's kind of cool. And people are starting to kind of come in a little bit this afternoon, and then they'll just kind of keep doing that all evening long into the dark. In fact, last night there was somebody that kept driving the wrong way down this road, and unfortunately I wasn't going to be able to get out there fast enough to stop him anyway. I guess I shouldn't walk away from Kit, he'll get upset. So, but they did it at least twice that I saw. And the good news on the power update today, the last time I looked just a little while ago, I was up to 95%, which is higher than I got yesterday. So I am hopeful that if we manage to get some more sunshine over the next few days, and I don't expect much for the next couple of days, but I'm less concerned about my ability to be able to live on solar power here. I'm not used to having the combination of cold weather and no sun. So that's going to be something to get used to. And I think we're going to end today's vlog right here. We're going to thank you for stopping by. Oh look, there's another notification of more rain on the way. Didn't see what time it said, but probably not all that long from now. So thank you for being here. I hope you're enjoying this, and I want to just kind of give you little tidbits and snippets of what camp hosting life is like for me while not being able to film in uniform. But so far so good. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.